So thank you everyone for coming to the call. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just having so many um computer issues today. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining the call today. As Mr. Keeney said earlier, we have quite a few students who are in the band in high school. And a lot of you have even expressed interest with joining the band in college. And so as we try to pretty much relate to you all, college is different in high school, and there are a lot of great benefits from doing the band in college. And so I just wanted to pull a few people on the call to kind of talk to you a little bit about band life in college. I have a band director who's supposed to join the call soon. He might be running a little bit behind. But in the meantime, I have three students on the line. I have Mr. David Boast. Excuse me, Derek. So I met Mr. Boast through putting this call together. He is an alumni, correct? From Southern
That's
University.
correct. Yeah.
Southern University. I've given your school a whole nother name, just so you know.
Oh, she really did, Mr. Bose. She told me that you was from Southern Central.
I don't know where it came from, and I was so
like,
sure
you
of
mean
it.
Southern University? And she was like, nah, it's Southern something. And I was like, Q,
It's Southern University.
I said, it's only one Southern, Q. I said,
I don't know where
I know
Southern Union
marching
was
bands,
coming
and it's only
from.
one Southern. And she was playing y'all all the way to the left. I don't know where she was at. It's in Arkansas. I said, nah.
I did not. Now, don't do that. I knew it was in Louisiana because I did. I am familiar with Southern University, but for some reason, I never made it past the Union.
Southern Union. She kept saying Southern Union. Like, what?
What year did you graduate, Mr. Bose?
I graduated spring 2020. 2021. I'm sorry. My last year in the band was 2020. I graduated spring 2021. Yeah.
Awesome. And then I have Miss Jemiah Thornton. Jemiah, did I say your last name wrong, or did I rename you too?
You said it right. You said
it right. Now, Miss Jemiah is actually the drum. You said a drum major, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. She's the drum major at Jacksonville State University, which is a PWI. I wanted to put a little diversity on the call. And I'm really proud of her because, girls rock. It's not too often that we get female drum majors. So when we do, definitely like to highlight them. And then I have my former student who would kill me if I do not introduce him, Mr. Matthew Bayless. Yeah. When I used to work at Lawson, Mr. Bayless was the secretary for SGA. And one thing that I do want to point out about Mr. Bayless that I will allow him to speak more on is that Mr. Bayless has been diagnosed with autism. And one of the reasons he's on the call, he is in the band. And he's also, you still do SGA, correct, Matthew?
Every day.
All right. Yep. So we have SGA, and he's also, you still on the Dean's list?
Well, for Dean's list, fall 22, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Mr. Bayless has all of these accomplishments, which I'm pretty sure he has even more that I'm unaware of because we've been away from each other for at least 4 or 5 years now. So there's no telling. Oh, wow. Yeah. There's no telling how many accomplishments that he has accomplished with his disability. I don't know if that's how you say it. Forgive me if I say anything wrong. I forgot how the proper terminology for it.
Technically, it is a disability, Miss Burke, so I think you're okay.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. So yes, so I have these students. Has the dance coach come on yet? Or the band director? If not, we're gonna go on with the students.
Yeah, I think we can. And then as they join, if we see them, we'll bring them up.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so I would like to start off with Jemiah. As a female drum major. No, first let's start from the beginning. How was it?
Hey, wait,
Did you
Q.
uh-huh.
Q, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just curious. Before we get to that, can we hear their instrument sections? Like
Yes.
were they in their bands in high school? Like I just want to know like what they play. I know we got a lot of band kids on here. We got some drummers. I think we got some French horn folks on. I think we got some people on here. So I'm just curious, like what their primary instruments were or are. I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so my primary instrument is the flute, and during the marching season, I play the piccolo.
Okay.
My primary instrument is clarinet, and while I was at Hueytown High during marching season, I was on the front ensemble, which is the auxiliary percussion.
Nice.
My primary instrument is trumpet. I was playing from the 5th grade all the way up to yesterday. So,
What's up?
Awesome. Did you all? Oh yeah, y'all already said y'all played in high school. So how was it the transition from high school to college? Did you have to audition? How was the application process? Applying? Did you have to go through band directors? How was all of that getting from high school to college?
I'll go
Yeah. Okay.
So with the process of transitioning from high school to college, at first I was nervous, I was scared. I didn't know how I would fluctuate band with school. And overall, your band directors, your section leaders, they're gonna be able to work with you. And that really they helped benefited me with a lot of scholarships and just opportunities. So being able to overall keep an open eye and having those people on your side with your band directors, they really helped you. So don't be worried about your transition from high school to college. It's super fun.
That's what's up.
Yeah, with me, I pretty much went through the band directors over there. One of them, Mr. Fraction, I had met when he was doing recruiting for Stillman at Lawson State. About 2-3 months before I graduated from there. It wasn't until like 2 years after I met him, he and the band director at the time helped me get back into the band because I've been out of the game for 6 years. Because when I was at Lawson State, there was no band over there. There was only choir, In a way, I was real disappointed about that. But that didn't stop me from graduating from Lawson State and transferring. But and up until 2 weeks ago, I was section leader for the clarinets, and the band just got back from DC this morning, becoming the first HBCU band to perform at the Kennedy Arts Center at the Sousa Festival up there. So band life and in college for me has been pretty good. They work with you based on your work, based on your grades and all, and they're able to work with you. If you got any conflictions regarding practicing something else, they're able to work with you on that.
Okay. Well, the transition from high school to college band for me, it was I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was easier because I was coming from that traditional style of band from high school right into college. Born and raised out of Louisiana, went to high school in Opelousas, came right here to Baton Rouge, 45 minutes up the road. Everything was kind of the same except the intensity. The intensity was up more, you feel me? Marching for the Human Jukebox. We got a lot of pressure on us from the state, the country, I marched many parades. I did Bayou Classics, Rose Bowl parade. I performed halftime for the Lakers. I served as section leader fall 2019 and 2020 and spring 2020, which was my senior year in the band at Southern University. But all around, like they said, the band directors, your section leader will always work with you as far as like your schedule and such. Like to say the same, like I was in band all these years, but I was an agriculture major. I graduated in animal science. So my schedule was sometimes different from what the band had going on because my classes would be later. Sometimes it'll be right when practice happened or whatever. As long as your communication is solid, you'll be solid.
Q, you on mute. I don't.
Sorry, I'm trying to unmute and I think I logged myself out of the other computer. Okay, so let me just, oh, wait, no. Somehow I'm still, yeah, I'm not, I know I'm bad with technology, but I'm not this bad.
That we can't agree on.
Okay, so let me see. Okay, so with your transitioning from you all spoke a little bit about your majors and the classes and did you have to have a certain GPA? Did you have to audition? Did you receive scholarships? Can you kind of speak on that a little bit while I fix my screen?
Yeah, with band, it does, like I said, it brings a lot of opportunities with scholarships. Putting yourself out there is one of the main things I really stress about. Communication with that, with the scholarships, just having that one-on-one with your band director. Don't be scared of them. They're super nice. I love my band directors. Like I said, they work with you. And yeah, like I love band. It's so fun. It's fun. It's really fun.
Thank you.
With-
Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, with me, I didn't have to audition, although I initially was going to, but the night before the audition, campus ended up on lockdown for a couple of weeks because we had some positive cases with COVID, and everything had to be virtual for 14 days. After all that, they just took me and didn't need to audition or anything, just had to wait on the clarinets to get in, you know? I mean, they offered me a scholarship the following spring semester, which didn't go into effect until this school year. And I mean, the GPA on that, man, you got to have at least a 2.0. But I tell you right now, I was way above the 2.0 mark. Because I mean, I've always made good grades. And when they offered me the scholarship, it was real generous, you know. I mean, they're real nice. The band directors were nice. They were real considerate. Given my long hiatus, they helped me knock off the rust. Although I had to learn a different marching style, but they helped me knock off the rust right away.
Mr. Bose, I want to ask you a question because you are now an alum. Has your so now that you are into the working world, did the band help you at all with this? Or how is it from college going over into adulthood? And did band play a part of any of that?
Yeah, I say mostly what band really taught me out of my 4 years was discipline. You gotta have discipline and time management. Time management is a big thing. And then another thing you have to realize going into college, a collegiate band, I say in my case, I was in a band room with at least 250 other individuals that was marching in the band, not including the dancers or the directors or anything. So coming out of that into the real world, you have at least 250 networking opportunities in different fields. You feel me? So like right now, I'm getting ready to transition into the United States Department of Agriculture. But as of right now, coming right out of school, I became a teacher in Baton Rouge at a high school. So you know, and that was straight through networking of one of my band directors. One of my band directors who, he's an assistant band director, but he's also assistant principal at a high school out here. And during that time, he had offered me a position for there while I'm working my way into the federal field. So networking for sure, like I said, discipline, time management. On the yard, we met every day for practice. Practice started at 4. We had 4 to 5:30. 4 to 5, we call it 4 to 5, but sometimes they extend to 5:30. Sectionals, we met individually as a section at 3 o'clock before practice. So we met individually. So you could say practice started at 3 to 5:30. We go to dinner, come back from dinner around 6:30, and then we in the band room until the needs are met. We'll be in there for hours, but we don't practice for hours. We'll always practice for results. So, and they always used to tell us, you know, practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice make perfect. So anything you do, translating from that, like to the real world, if you're gonna go do a job, make sure you're doing it good. You know, make sure you leaving a solid name for yourself and what you stand for. Because walking out of the band room, we all wear S. We stand for the organization outside.
Thank you. Jemiah, now will you speak a little bit about being a female drum major? And also, a lot of our students or HBCUs, will you kind of talk about the difference between, well, I know you probably can't talk about the differences, but your experience being in a PWI band?
So being in a PWI band, it's pretty fun. I enjoy it. I've made so many friends. I meet new people in other bands from other schools. I've been places that I thought I've never been, like in the summer of 2024. We're gonna be going to France. And we're a big band. We have over like 500 members in our band. And overall, that probably, it made me scared to audition to be a drum major, because one, I'm a female, and the other guys that I have, it's 4 of us, 4 drum majors. The other 3 are they're boys. And so, you know, being that only female in that group, you know, I'm kind of nervous, but at the same time, I feel like I can do it. But it takes a lot of commitment, like he says, working hard, going to practice. You're going to be with these people all day, every day, basically. And not saying that's a bad thing, but like having those connections, having those people around you, it really benefits you in the long run. It benefits you with learning things every day, as far as discipline, knowing that, you know, on time is late and early is on time, things like that. So being a drum major, I think is going to allow me to really tone in on my leadership skills, because I've been a drum major since my junior and senior year of high school. And then my freshman year, I was a regular band member. Sophomore year, I'm a band member. So my junior year, I'll be a drum major. So being able to be a drum major, I think I'm going to have fun. And yeah.
And we also had Professor Snipes, Willie Snipes, from the illustrious Miles College in Fairfield, Alabama. And so he is the band director at Miles College. And so, Mr. Snipes, can you please, you know, quickly introduce yourself and even talk about some of the expectations as a band director, what you're looking for when you're recruiting?
Well, thank you for the intro, Ms. Byrne. That was pretty cool. For those who may not know me, I'm Professor Snipes. I'm director of Miles College Purple March Machine here in Fairfield, Alabama. One of the expectations that I'm looking for is hard work. You know, basically, I understand that students who went through COVID may not have the tools and had the equipment to practice during that time. So we do have some kids that may, you know, be off a little bit, but they willing to work hard to get on standard. You know, we'll work with them. But I'm just really looking for hard work. The playing will come with practicing. The marching will come with practicing. Here at Miles, our band is more like a family instead of just a band. So, you know, the band is what I use, just like a fishing hook and a worm. I use that to catch you. But when you get here, my job is to mold you to be a great citizen one day. So the band is just an outfit to get you in here to get your degree. I'm big on grades, things like that. We definitely want students to do well and achieve in class, just as well as on the football field. But our biggest thing when we look for a kid to be in our band program, the biggest thing we're looking for is a hard worker and a person that's not going to quit and things like that. If you're looking for a college band, Miles College has an open door policy. But if you do qualify for academic, you can get an academic as well as a band scholarship. So most of our kids go to school 80 to 90% paid for who are in the band. We march anywhere from 180 to 230 members every year. And we're looking forward this year to having a big year. So, if you have any questions or anything for me, I'm here on this Zoom. I'm enjoying to see a female drum major. That's awesome. Congratulations on that in Durham in your matriculation through college. But I'm looking forward to seeing you be a female drum major. That's a big accomplishment. So that's basically all it is for me at Miles. I'm getting ready for practice right now. We started about 5:30, but I wanted to stop in on this Zoom and just see what was going on. I'm really enjoying the inserts that I'm hearing.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Because Professor Snipes gonna have to get off in a minute. I did want to touch on Matthew and his disability and him using that with band. But before we get to him, I just want to open the floor for any questions for Professor Snipes, if anyone has any questions, whether it's for Miles or any other band type questions.
And obviously, students, y'all can unmute and ask yourself, or if you want to type it in the chat, we don't mind reading it for you. And so, like Ms. Q said, if you got any questions, go ahead and start sending them our way.
Okay, while we're waiting on you to type, we're gonna let Matthew go ahead and talk a little bit about, and if you ask questions before he gets offline. Oh, okay, there's a question right there. How long does practice take?
Well, we practice anywhere from 5 o'clock, 5:15-ish every day. And we only practice to 9:30. I don't believe in practicing all night because the kids have work to get done. My retention and my graduation rate is probably one of the highest in all HBCU bands. We don't turn over a lot of kids. When you see the Miles band, it's basically mostly upperclassmen because we retain our upperclassmen. We practice, what we have here, we call smart practice. I think I heard the guy from Southern University talk about something like that. We only practice on what's needed. When I was in school, we used to practice on 75 songs a day. You would never play 75 songs in a game. So now we kind of prepare what we're going to play during the game, the fifth quarter, and the halftime presentation. So we try not to practice over 4 hours a day.
4 hours a day. That's a good little commitment right there.
That's pretty short. All my guys on here from the SWAC band and bands who kind of like Miles. We're a really aggressive band. A lot of the D-type bands, they practice, more than 4 hours a day, just to be honest with you.
I believe it. I believe it. I respect the artistry and the musicianship. I went to a college that didn't have a marching band because we didn't have a football team at the time. So I haven't been in a band since I was in 7th grade. So I respect it.
Wow. Yeah.
Man, that's a good little commitment. So I know our students that are band kids, they need to have their mind right for that.
Yeah, and you gotta think about this. A lot of time when kids get in trouble is when they don't have nothing to do.
Right,
So
right.
you got the fraternity Kappa Psi Tau Beta Sigma, you got the band going on, you got all these sub brass band, woodwind choir, brass ensembles. So the kids really be around the band a lot. So it becomes a family. But a lot of times, man, when kids get in trouble is when they sit around doing nothing. And I noticed that in my band program. Like right now, we are in wind ensemble season. And so the kids, they don't practice but hour, 30 minutes a day. I have more problems during this time than any other time of the season. When those kids are they're in the band room through a marching season, I got my hands on them, so they can't do nothing crazy. We laugh, joke, they get in trouble, normal kid stuff, but nobody's is in a club getting, in fights and things like that, doing drugs during that time. And it's a lot of positive that goes on. So all day they're in class, they go get something to eat, and they come to band practice. So at least 12 hours of their day, what they're doing. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
And so that keep them on a streak. Cause you gotta think, man, band is the second most disciplined thing besides the military. You join the army, you discipline. You join the band, you discipline. When you look on the news, you see more. I don't really want to talk about this because y'all recorded me, but you see other organizations, even on the pro level, getting in trouble more than musicians. Think about it. This is a discipline. To sit down and play
You
an
ain't
instrument.
speaking nothing but truth, man. Like, talk your truth.
Yeah, think this is a discipline. Let's say you got 20 people in your section, all 20 got to play the same exact way. That's a discipline. That's hard to do. That's not easy. You get on the field, you want to make a square, or we want to put your name on the field. This game, we want to put a shape on the field. Then we double time and we slow march, and the kids don't even think about it. They just get out there and do it. And we held to a high standard, but band is definitely a sport that we do not recognize as a sport. So I'm telling y'all, stop me from talking because I'm so passionate about it.
No, the only thing I want to ask you about, and this is only because you are, a band director. I just got two similar questions in the chat, one direct and one to everybody. But someone said, what is the audition process like for your band? And somebody else said, what are the requirements for the drum line? So this is just, I'm gonna let you go with that, and then it's kind of, you can get to everybody else.
Okay, so basically, you had to come in and play your major scales, 12 major scales, but I ask for maybe 5 or 6, a chromatic scale, basic sight reading, and a solo piece. We want to make sure that you understand your instrument. Miles is not a state-funded school, so the scholarships that we give out, it has to count. We cannot bring kids in here that don't know, Adams from Eve. We have to bring kids in here that know something about their instruments. So we can't just give out a whole bunch of scholarships to make the band look big. Then the quantity is over the quality. So here at Miles, we're a private school, so we have to really, really take time out and audition kids and pick kids to be in our program that can really benefit the program and the future of the program. So, even though we do go through the auditioning process, the main thing we want to do is have a personality check to make sure that you understand and we can get along as student and director.
Oh, so, that's a big one right there.
Yeah, because hanging out with me is crazy. Like, I'm crunk and lit. I don't smoke no drugs. I don't do no alcohol. You guys, any of my students, I'm naturally high. So to be around me all day and put up my personality, you got to be able to get along with me. So before we even audition, I'm going to talk to you to make sure you can endure me in a conversation. And if you can't, this might not be the program for you. And you see what I'm saying? But the audition process here, it's not as strenuous because I talk in it more than I listen to you play. My biggest thing to know if our personalities clash.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Someone also asked the question: when someone signs up for band, do they have to pay for the instruments or pay for any type of fees?
No, even for instruments. Let me show y'all something. What's up, y'all? I just bought 28 brand new sousaphone. Largest HBCU purchase of sousaphones ever made. 202,000. When you come here, we supply everything. All we need you to do is get here. That's all I ask you to do. I want all my instruments play the same. I want all the same tuba, same trumpet. I want everybody to have the same brand. So when you come here, you bring your instrument, but you'll never play it in my band because I want everything to be the same because I'm OCD.
Yeah.
So someone asked, how many section leaders are in each section? And that might not just be Miles. I know Derek said he was a section leader for a second or something too. How many section leaders are typically in each section?
Two in our band. We have a section leader, assistant section leader. Then we have student leadership as your drum major. Then on top of that, we have Kappa Psi Tau Beta Sigma. So in my band, majority of the band has to be leaders because Kappa Psi Tau Beta Sigma is a leadership organizations.
All right. What about at the other schools? Or is it about the same?
I'm quite sure everybody probably have assistant section leaders and section leaders. Huh, Jemiah? What you think?
Yeah, we do. It depends on like the size of the section. So like for instance, the trumpet section, I think which is our biggest section, has 3 section leaders. But for like the smaller sections like the clarinet section, it'll be 2.
Okay. What about you, Derek?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as Southern. I know my section leader year, we started with 3 and ended with 2, but that was only because I had a 60 piece. So with 60 trumpets, you might need a little more hands-on, but usually it's a section leader and assistant section leader.
Brandon.
And we don't have, currently at Southern right now, there's no Kappa Kappa Psi Tau Beta Sigma. So chain of commands usually go directors, drum major, section leaders.
Mm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I never had 60 people in one section in my career. Besides middle school, I think Derek boasted a little bit. Don't ever do that again while I'm on the phone. I like that. I like that. So we boasting. I guess I boast a little bit too. You know, I had 33 sousaphones in 2017, but you know, not many people ever had 33 sousaphones. But yeah, I get it, man. I'm a fan of Southern Band, and after when you had that 60 piece, Derek, I was one of your biggest fans.
So
I appreciate that.
So some
I
of
appreciate it, man. I'll never forget. We Southern University and Miles College went head to head boxing. You feel me?
Yeah, and you know the crazy thing about it, it's the most watched battle to this day. And people may want to say whatever they want to say, but when Miles and Southern met in that street, the reason they met in that street is called Nate Heyman and Willie Snipes. We were battling, but we felt like we both got the best bands. You see what I'm saying? So it's a state school versus a private school. I shouldn't even been in the conversation. So, you know, that was a blessing for me, man. Y'all guys represented well. You know, I really appreciated it. And y'all taught me something. Like, street battles are real. I didn't even believe in them like that. Coming from Birmingham, like them guys got off the bus, they were dead serious. I was trying to shake hands and say, how you doing? Nah, we're gonna battle. So the next time,
on site. On site. Okay.
So, you know, my band was, I had a good band too. But the next year we came down, we were prepared for that street battle with everybody because, you know, coming from Alabama, we don't have that type of origin. So that was our first time being in the Barkers Parade. And we got in the street and I had no clue how serious it was. So, you know, next year that's pretty good.
So I got a shy band kid that keeps sending me all their questions because they don't want to talk to y'all, but it's okay. I'm used to them. But they just asked, they said, are there like physical attributes? They said they believe Southern band people all have to cut their hair low. Like, is there a reason for some of that, or what is kind of the rationale between some of that?
Well, it's right now in the band.
Oh wait, Derek, wait, I can't hear you. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
Yeah, it's just you.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
In Southern Band, yeah, we do all cut our hair. Like right before I came to Southern in 2016, I had dreadlocks. Going down my back, and I knew from the time I was coming to Southern that that's just what it's military style. Like you said, like the closest thing to the military would be the marching band. You feel me? So we all look the same. We all march the same. We all sound the same. It all go back to that. It's a simple discipline and it's tidiness. And
Derek, can I interject on that? Let me say this. Certain things bands do all over the world. Southern do what they do. Jackson do what they do. Miles do what they do. Fam do what they do. And you know, I don't know how that question was directed, but let me say this. All these organizations this day and time, nobody's hazing. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to do. I'm telling you. Like if a kid come here and tell me they don't want to practice, that's cool. I just move on to the next one. Back in the day, you know, things was a little different when I came through. I actually was a person that went through some of that stuff, and you had no choice. But this day and time, kids have a choice. They don't have to do any of that stuff. They don't want to be a part of something. They do not have to be a part of it. So make sure that we come on over here, drum major. Make sure we put that in perspective, Derek, that you was not forced to do that.
Yeah, I wasn't forced to cut my hair. Like nobody, it wasn't like drumline. You don't know the last rule of the rule book, you cut your hair. It wasn't none of that. It's literally before I came on campus, I pretty much read the room. I'm looking at the whole band, everybody have haircuts. Hey, let me get it right. You feel me?
Yeah. All right. Matthew, can you speak a little bit on your disability and being in the band?
Yeah. Well, mean, as Miss Burt has probably mentioned to y'all when we started this meeting today, that I am on the autistic spectrum. Now, having that and being in the band does have a little bit of a disadvantage, like voice getting out of control with your tone of your voice, and some anxiety, loud noises, stuff like that. But I mean, although at times it does have its perks, you're still gonna be around people. They're still gonna watch your back, no matter what flaws you got. They all look out for you, no matter what. And if anybody messes with you, they will back you up on that matter. Yeah, hold on just a minute. I'm on a call.
It's okay, Matthew. Don't hurt.
Hold on just a minute.
Let me mute you out. I'm gonna mute
Hey,
you out, Matthew.
Matthew, you got a scholarship in my band. I need you to do that when they talking. I'm on the box. Hold on, Property's on the box. Shut up. I need that. I appreciate that. Keep it up, baby. I love it.
All right.
He's in bad words now. He put us on mute.
Right,
He
right,
definitely
right.
dropped.
I had to mute him out real quick. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
Like
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Like I was trying to say, being autistic and in the band, it may have some perks and may have some disadvantages. Like disadvantages involving, the speech, your tone, your anxiety, or your tendency to the loud stuff. You do have. There are limits on that matter, but over time you try to get used to it. But there are some things when it comes to the noise level you can never outgrow.
Is it
But
different, Matthew, because you're at a HBCU? Are there different challenges with you being at a HBCU, or is it about the same? And I know you weren't at a PWI, but Hueytown is probably along the lines of a PWI. So,
well, in terms of differences, like on the marching steps, it is a challenge and all, because I was never taught that till like late when I joined in last school year.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but overall, it's no matter, with me being autistic, that didn't stop me from graduating high school. That didn't stop me, and being in the band over there as well. That didn't stop me from being an SGA and over at Lawson State and graduating from there 3 years later. And that definitely didn't stop me from transferring to Stillman and being in the band over there and SGA, among other things. And that's definitely not going to stop me from graduating there. No matter what disabilities you all got in life, no matter what flaws y'all got in life, you should not let that dictate how you want to live. You control your own destiny. Never, never forget that.
Let's go,
Because
Matthew.
you should never let any flaws you got, disability or otherwise, control your destiny. You control it. You control your life. And any high schools that's hearing this today, remember what I'm saying. Nobody dictates you but you. Remember that.
That's right, Matthew. Thank you. We do have a question in the chat, and as a matter of fact, you all drop your questions because I've asked all of mine, so now it's on you. Anything you want to know, let's go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we will start with, do you have any favorite songs to play?
The question is, do we have any favorite band song?
Yeah.
Oh man, definitely. Definitely got some favorite band songs. I love Miles College Three-Way. I love Miles College Tear the Club Up. I love Miles College, what's that song I like about Broccoli? I like Miles, everything Miles play.
All right. What about you, Derek?
Yeah, like you said, I got a number of songs that I could select that I say I love to play. But I say one song that might stick out to me over the years was 2016. We played "Joyful Joyful" by Sister Act. That's one of my favorite songs that we ever played. I remember to this day that song 98 measures, no repeats. And I was like,
I like what's the name too, bro. I like Something in My Heart by Southern University.
Something in
been
My
so
heart.
long.
Yeah, it been so long. A recent one, I don't know if kids Piano Trap, Yosemite, stuff like that. It was some real bangers that we played that I say went viral and just stuck with me throughout the years. Like, I pick my horn up right now and just run through it because I'll never forget it.
Wow. Jemiah?
We don't play a lot of songs on that type of curriculum, but like my favorite song that we do play is "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck." Yeah, I like that song. I'm in the
Jemiah, what school you go to?
Jacksonville State University. I'm part of the Marching Southerners.
You talking about like down the street, the Gamecocks?
Yeah, the
Man, you
Gamecocks.
been awesome. What you mean?
I know it's
Man, most HBCUs can't go against y'all. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite song because it really gets the crowd crunk, and like I love seeing the atmosphere. It's just the best, especially when like the fans love it, we love it. It's the best. So that's my favorite song to play.
Good. Matthew? You left us?
After yelling again. Oh, okay.
So what?
What's your favorite song?
You like in terms of playing in terms of the favorite song to play in the band?
Yes.
I would have to say favorites on that matter would be the song Knock If You Buck. We've started playing that since just before we had our homecoming last month. And it's a pretty easy piece to memorize, you know? Because I mean, it's a pretty easy piece to memorize. I mean, it's a short one, about 7, it can't be no more than 10 measures long. So that's easy to memorize. I can be able to play that with my eyes closed.
Okay. I love Nuck If You Buck too, but you know, we ain't gonna go there. All right, any other questions? Anyone send any questions to you, Kenny?
I don't know. I don't have any questions right now.
Hey, Ms. Burt.
Uh-huh.
I have our trumpet session leader here and our president of Kappa Kappa Psi, Lorenzo Byrne.
Hey.
He throwing the hooks up. I know you see that, Derek.
No, this is how
Yeah.
too, though. I can do both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. You have any favorite songs?
Now,
You have any favorite songs?
Rolling Thunder.
We got 8 Epsilon brothers in the chat.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Rolling Thunder. That's my favorite song.
We have someone that says, is the drum line the hardest section in college?
No, definitely it's in woodwind. Hey, do y'all ever listen to the woodwind parts to marches and stuff?
That's a lot of breath.
Jemiah had to put her head up. Jemiah had to put her head up.
With me being a piccolo player, the runs that we have to do, mind you, we play our music at like 160, 170. The commitment, the work that you have to put in far as breath support, and also like the physical ability of moving your legs fast to that tempo, it's something else. But I love it though. That's my passion. I love it.
I tell you, as the band director, and a lot of band directors probably won't say this, but a lot of times it's a challenge teaching the woodwind parts to the woodwind players, because the woodwind players, their parts be so difficult. So I think the woodwind sections are definitely plan-wise is the hardest. Now, actually being in the drum section and looking a certain way, being tough, yeah, the drum section probably is the hardest, then followed by the tuba section. And I'm talking about my band. Other bands may be different, but definitely the woodwind section plan-wise.
Yeah, most
y'all kept me in this Zoom too long. I got to go. I've been in band practice.
We appreciate you.
We do.
Hey guys, any of y'all can follow me IG Prop Snipes. If y'all have any questions for me, just find me on IG Prop Snipes. Then our what you call it? Our preview day is April the 15th, It don't matter what band you from, you want to come hang out with us, man. We'd love to have any of y'all on our beautiful campus here at Miles College. I got to go because we in band rehearsal, but I wanted to personally tell y'all, keep striving. It don't matter what somebody tell you what you can't do. You prove them and tell them you can do it. Even if it take a little time, never quit. I love everybody who in band. I love you because we share the universal language is music. So keep up the good work. If you ever need me, Prof Snipes on IG, I'll be happy to talk to you. So everybody have a great day. I got to get out of here for practice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Appreciate
you for
it, brother.
joining.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes.
One of the students did just ask me one more question. They asked,
Okay.
and I'm not a band person, so y'all probably, Brother Derek, Jeremiah, Matthew, y'all probably know this better than me. They said, do y'all have any call outs and what are they called? And I don't, I'm gonna let y'all answer.
Yeah, call outs, like individual sections, you mean? Like,
I don't know, and I don't think they're gonna get on it. They ain't gonna talk. They're gonna keep direct messaging me. So let's see if they
I need somebody
clarify their
to
question.
elaborate.
They said you gotta
I got a question.
elaborate. They said
I got a
yes.
question.
They said yes to what you just said.
I mean, every band, like, well, I won't say every band, but I know our band, we have individual, like, every section loves to rep their section. Like, we treat each section kind of like we'll treat an organization, like, so with the trumpets, we the Screaming Demons, the mellophones, they mellow five fellow, baritones, master blasters, like, everybody rep their own section, I guess of the sort, if you want to say so.
Okay. That answer your question? I'm not gonna say your name, but that answer your question. Just okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Y'all want to talk about that band camp?
Band camp has its upsides and its downsides. You meet new people. On top of that, it's hot. You get frustrated. You're ready to go take your shower. You're sweaty. Everybody's getting irritated with each other. But at the end of the day, it's all about forming, a bond with each other so that you could put on a show for the audience during halftime show or after the game. So that's all what I really think about of band camp.
Band camp for me, well, I mean, it's got its perks. I mean, it had its perks for me this round, because some of the stuff, martial arts that I wasn't taught when I joined last school year, because I, joined in late September 21. Some of the stuff I didn't learn. So they kind of got that down with me, But I mean, I tell you, the first week of band camp, it was pure chaos because we were supposed to have been back the week before, but things got moved back to 1st of August. And on top of that, I had leadership boot camp to deal with that week. So, I because I tell you, when 9 o'clock came, I just wanted to get out of there, get to my room, get a shower, get to my room and get some sleep and be up the following morning at 4 a.m. to make sure I'm at the band room by 6:45. No, wait, at 5:50. Because band camp started at 6. We needed to make sure that everybody was there so we can make sure we have breakfast by 7:20. So I can make sure that I'm at my leadership boot camp by 8. And it was chaos that week. And I couldn't even work the leadership of the orientation events for the freshmen as a result on account of that unfortunate delay. Not my fault. But I tell you, band camp overall, even though it was hot and even though it was nuts, it was still a good experience.
So this question, look, I got a question. Somebody asked this. I don't mind a biased answer, but one of our students had the audacity to ask, who has the best drum line out of all college bands? I don't even know what they're expecting to hear as an answer, but that's the question they put in the chat. So I'm just gonna ask the question because that's what they said. I'm just gonna tell y'all that's what they asked.
Funk Factory, Human Jukebox.
We got the best drum line at Stillman.
The Marching Southerners has the best drum line, even though we did win the Sutler Trophy of 2022.
Oh, you come with trophy.
So like, yeah.
Somebody else said JSU in the chat. They, what JSU you talking about? Because that's what Jemiah just said. Look, that she said she from JSU too. Which one you talking about? Travis say North
Of
Carolina.
course, she's talking about the sonic boom of the South. Come on now.
Someone said something about what about NCAT?
Yeah, North Carolina A&T out there. Okay.
Yeah, not taking away nothing from all these other great college and collegiate bands and stuff like that, but Southern University, man, I'm gonna rep it to that.
Y'all would ask that when Miles get off the call, but since I'm here, I will say.
I would agree with the person who just said JSU though. JSU is my second best.
Okay.
As
That's
much
right.
as our rivalry is with Jackson State, I would say it's a rivalry for a reason. Number two always try to be number one, but
Or okay, I'm gonna let you have that.
We had a question. Ronte, did you want to put it in the chat or you wanted to ask?
I want to say it. So like, no disrespect. Like, what's so fun about band though? I just want to know.
What's so fun about it? Okay.
Yeah, what's so fun about it? What's the hype? Like, y'all bragging about it, like talking about this, that. Like, I want to know the hype for real.
with band, it go back to the money. If you want to start from there, if we're gonna talk fun, I guess money is fun. So we're gonna start there. Going to school for free. So that means everything you do go back in your pocket. So how well you play on your instrument would determine how great of a semester you're gonna have financially. Number two, with the band, I done been more places with the band than I've ever been in my life with my family or anywhere else. Met most celebrities, and to be honest, depending on how well your band is or where you from, like some places you pull up, you are the celebrity. So it has many perks. Like we got tons of sponsorships from other places. One year Adidas decided to sponsor us. They came bring the band full, a whole bunch of clothes, shoes, all for free. Like Nike, all type of stuff. We get tons of sponsorship. Human Jukebox sponsored by Raising Cane's. Band members always get a discount, Baton Rouge. And then on top of that, on the road, we eat Raising Cane's for free. So I mean, it has its perks. I mean, that compared to, I guess, doing nothing on campus, I guess it sounds pretty fun, unless you're involved in another extracurricular activity,
Right. And so listen, obviously we're gonna let the band people talk, but I really want to say this, guys. We say this to y'all all the time. In college, your experience is gonna be what you put into it. Like you're gonna get out of it what you put into it, right? And so you've heard all of our guests kind of talk about a few things, and some of that is they've talked about the connections. They've talked about the family atmosphere. They've talked about, Matthew was talking about people having your back and just knowing that you're a part of something bigger than yourself, right? Derek just said, they go places in Louisiana and they are the celebrity, right? And Southern, the people got a lot of HBCUs, not just Southern. A lot of HBCUs, people got more respect for the band than the football team. Like just period. Like people go to the football game to see the band. Well, that's kind of what it is. It's some of these colleges. So, in a lot of colleges, you get out of it what you put in. And so, like Derek was just kind of saying, even if band ain't your thing, you want to go to school and you want to get connected to something. Right. And because that ultimately is going to be, those are going to be the memories that you have 10 years after you graduate. It ain't going to be, I sat in this chemistry class my freshman year. It's going to be all these things that I did when I was on campus, these organizations I was a part of, these clubs, these friends, this traveling that I did with people that I linked up with. That's going to be the stuff that, that's really what college is about. It's really about all of those experiences, so I'm sorry if I jumped in on anybody trying to answer, but I wanted to just make sure I said that.
And I said, just to piggyback off of that, one of my partners that I came in whenever I was a freshman with at Southern, he just got married and I was in his wedding. You feel me? It's stuff like that that goes way beyond the band. Like by the time you graduate, you knowing these people for the rest of your life. You build friendships and relationships with people that you would have never met, that come from all different type of walks of life that now you can network with. I'm like, it's to a point right now, pretty much anything I need, or if I don't need it, somebody else needs something, I could call somebody and get a lead on something. I get in touch with somebody. Just, I say mostly through the band, bro. Like I done met hundreds of people just from being in the band, thousands of people, performed in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like it's a whole lot of stuff you could take from the band other than just music, to say the least.
Absolutely.
And like, I also want to add, the first time you play your instrument in front of the fans, the experience, it's just a whole different type of experience. You'll see what the hard work, the commitment that you put in, you see why you're doing that for those fans. And plus you going to football games for free. You eating for free, going to away games, you getting free stuff. Like, think about it. You going, it's the best thing to happen, basically.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That's what's up. Students, do we have any more questions for our guests? You know, we like to kind of stay on our time schedule. We are 4 minutes away from 7 o'clock. So students, do you have any more questions? If not, you know, for our guests, if there's anything you want to close with, you can feel free to kind of give them any kind of last thoughts or messages.
Oh, I have one thing to say before we let our guests close us out. ETS, please go sign in. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, thank you all, our guests, for coming. I really do appreciate you all coming. I enjoyed the call. Brings back a lot of memories. I was not in the band. However, as Professor Snipes said, Miles College is a very small campus. And I remember my freshman year, we bought about 3 bus loads from New Orleans to join the band. And yeah, I have a lot of memories. And the band was definitely, if you were in the band, you were somebody. And as Matthew said, there was no one person in the band getting into a fight, which I know we shouldn't be talking about fights, but the thing was, you had a family. There was no one person in the band like, if one person got in trouble, everybody getting in trouble. Like they really are a family. And I had a lot of friends in KK Psi. So I have a lot of memories with people in the band. I don't know if I could have done all the work that they did because they worked hard. But and Professor Snipes was actually the first person. He actually graduated. He was the first person, period, to graduate from Miles College with a music degree. They actually put the music department in place so that he could get a degree from there. So there are a lot of benefits from being in the band. And so I really do appreciate you all coming and talking about that. And I hope that those on the call were able to get something out of it. Jemiah, I really think it is like awesome for you to be like a female drum major. Like, I know you know, but you don't know.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I'm so disappointed because we actually have a female drum major in our program right now, and she's not on this call. So I'm gonna hit her up and be like, yo, you really missed a call. Because she's a sophomore, but she's the drum major of Banneker High School, which is one of our schools that we serve. And so I'm gonna make sure I hit her up and tell her watch this recording. But we definitely appreciate all of y'all joining us tonight. You know, I know our students got a lot out of the call. One of our students just put they Instagram page, they high school percussion section Instagram page in there. I guess he wants y'all to check him out. He tell us that he the nicest person in our program out of all of our band kids. That's what he tells us.
I'm gonna follow the page right now.
That's the truth too.
Yeah, so
no, they pretty good though. I have to agree. I have to agree with them. I'm vouching. They pretty good.
Yeah, so but we definitely appreciate y'all for joining us, man. Y'all, we really do appreciate it. Y'all gave us a lot of great information tonight. And y'all experiences are valuable. Y'all experiences are valuable. And so we appreciate y'all giving back and pouring in, to some people that want to be, in the same situation y'all in a few years from now. So that's definitely what's up. We appreciate y'all.
All right, so now I'm gonna give it over to you to close it out. We'll start with you, Derek. Oh, and thank you, Derek, because I met Derek through putting this out, and I had no idea how much you were going to be very instrumental. So thank you for coming to the call, everybody. But yeah, thank you because you did this strictly off of for your love for the band. We don't have a relationship. You didn't know me, so I really do appreciate you coming to impart some wisdom and knowledge to our kids. But I'm gonna let you give your closing remarks, and then we'll give it to Jemiah. And then also thank you, Matthew, for coming. It's good seeing you again, and even speaking and giving us that great inspirational talk. So we'll start with you, Derek, then we'll go to Jemiah, then Matthew give us closing remarks.
Well, I guess I'll start by saying, I appreciate y'all for having me. I won't like this. I don't do many of these, so I guess when my partner called me and asked me if I could do it and represent, it's a no-brainer, especially when you represent something great and bigger than yourself. And I just want to leave with y'all, always follow your dreams. I'm a first generation everything. So everything I've been did up to this point, it was off my own knowledge, my own wanting to seek new and better things. And to this day, I'm still seeking new and better things to do and further my life. And I wish all y'all the best of luck. And whatever endeavors y'all go, whether it's Southern, Jacksonville, anywhere, just make sure y'all have a good time and enjoy y'all time because it go by fast.
Matthew, Jemiah, y'all got any closing? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say, like he said, thank y'all for having me. This is actually my first time doing one of these things. I enjoyed it. I've learned some new stuff, as far as the HBU side of the band. And one thing I do want to end off with is that when you transfer over to college, don't dull yourself down for anybody. Be who you are. Always stick with what you know, and don't give up what you're doing. As far as band, music is everything. I love music. Don't give up. Don't let nobody talk in your ear about, hey, I don't think you should do it. It's lame. I don't see why you're doing it. Do it. It's fun. It's your passion. Stick with it. And so that's really what I want to end things with.
I just had a quick question. I'm sorry. I had one quick question. This like an all-star band or this like this one single high school band, or it's band students in the chat? Because I see people go back and forth.
Multiple and students in the chat. We have Monday's Meal, Forest Park, Griffin. I haven't seen any Banneker students. We do serve Banneker School, but I don't know if they're on the call. But yes, so I don't know how they done started this whole band war. But that's what band does to you, I guess. And then I think Matthew it's on you. Closing remarks.
Yeah, I want to thank Miss Burt, my old SGA advisor, for inviting me on this call today. I want to thank everybody for listening, and hopefully y'all took some inspiration from me in terms of going to being in band in college and beyond. I mean, transitioning to band from high school to college, it may seem easy, but it's not. Like everything else, it takes hard work and dedication. All right, you gotta be willing to go all the way. If you end up in other organizations while you're still in band, you gotta make sure. That'll help you with time management. All right, because I'm not sure all directors are like that, willing to accommodate you on that matter. If you got activities going on. Academics, I quite understand that, but we're on the other organizations, I'm not too sure that's a them question, you know. But I mean, if any of you high school students on here that that's still on here right now, and if you all want to audition for the band, for the Blue Pride Marching Tigers, our band scholarship, check us out on our Instagram page. Check us out on our Instagram page. Search for Stillman Bands. It'll probably show up something a little similar. I think it's Blue Pride. I can't remember, but check it out. Click the link for scholarships.
Amen.
Oh, all right. Well, again, man, we greatly appreciate y'all, man. Like, you know, thank y'all for giving y'all time tonight. I really enjoyed the call. Good job, Miss Q, for putting everything together.
Yes. Great call.
I will tell you this, Miss Q, because a couple of people said it to me. So maybe we might have to run this back at some point, because a couple of people said to me, there's no dancers on the call. And so a couple of our young women that are on the call asked me where the dancers at. So I'm just telling you.
Supposed to be one on the call, and I'll get in touch with her. And she actually graduated from Forest Park and went to Miles, and now she is in California as a coach at one of the schools out there, a dance coach out there. But I did think about y'all, and next time we're gonna try to make sure, you know, we get that.
It's some people feeling not represented out here, so I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know. But other than that, man, we're gonna wrap it up. You know, we're gonna stop the recording. But thank you so much again for everybody that's on. I'm sure that our students gonna be talking junk to each other for the next couple of hours. Y'all can text each other offline. Because I see all the band going back and forth.
I mean, they
Going in. Going in.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. You know, Derek, Jemiah, Matthew. We appreciate y'all. If we do run it back, man, we're trying to get y'all back on here. You know what I'm saying? With some dances or something.
Yeah. All right.
Just say when, and I'll try to get it in my schedule.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We appreciate you. All right, y'all be blessed.
Thank y'all.
Y'all be blessed.
If any of y'all are on spring break this week, have a safe one, and I'll see you all later.
All right.
Thank you, Matthew.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good stuff. All right, well, students, we'll go ahead and